Alrighty then, welcome back to our Twitworkz training, and in this section I'm going to look at the content tweeting module. Now, if you purchase the upgrade to the content module, then you have access to the what we call a content or tweet module that comes with Twitworkz. By using Twitworkz content module, you can make sure that your followers will always have tweets coming from you. And this works well for accounts because followers will get used to seeing interesting content coming from your news feed. Now, you can decide what kind of tweets you want to put out. There are three kinds of automated continual source content, as well as a way for you to create your own custom tweets and have them go out continually without you having to do the tweeting by hand every time. Now, in most cases, the tweet module will be able to figure out which one of the four you've entered, and the right type will be selected automatically. But in case the system is unable to determine which type, or in case it guessed incorrectly, just go ahead and click the button for the correct content type that you're entering before saving that content source. The algorithm depends on knowing the type of content, so just make sure that the correct type is selected before saving, and you'll be fine. Now let's talk a little bit about the frequency of posting. Twitworkz regulates the frequency by which you post using a randomized algorithm in order to make your posts appear as humanly real as possible. Simply select anything between never post and open the floodgates to set the frequency for posting of that particular content source. The higher the frequency setting, the more likely Twitworkz is to decide to tweet your content each time it makes a content run. And just remember that if you add a bunch of content and set them all to open the floodgates, you might just creep out a lot of your followers. So your best practice is to practice a bit of restraint, at least until you see how your followers are reacting to your content tweets. Then you can correct your course and make any changes as time goes on. Now let's look at the different types of continual content sources that you can add into the content module. First one is the YouTube playlist. Now on YouTube there are a lot of really nice playlists, and what you need to do is go out and find some playlists that users have put together that contain a lot of interesting content in your niche, and then plug that playlist into Twitworkz. So you get the playlist URL, and make sure you get that playlist URL and not just the video itself. And you enter the playlist URL and make sure the YouTube playlist selection is highlighted. You select your posting frequency, and then you just click the save button. Twitworkz will automatically grab new content from that playlist and tweet it onto your Twitter timeline via the interval that you select for frequency posting. You can also enter a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel is similar to a playlist, but a playlist is a specific list created by a user, and a channel is just a channel where the user puts all their videos. So either one can be good. So once again, you want to select a channel that has a lot of content that's going to be interesting to the people in your niche, and you enter that channel URL. Channel URL looks something like this, and you make sure that the YouTube channel selection is highlighted in Twitworkz, and you select your frequency, click the save button, and you're good to go. And now all your followers will regularly receive interesting videos from that channel. Another great way that we have to provide continuous interesting content to your followers is via RSS feed, and there are just so many amazing RSS feeds that you can find out there, chock full of fascinating content for your followers. For example, you can tweet out news content or any content that's published via an RSS feed, and it's a really great feature. You're not just limited to videos. You can tweet out articles or posts from any blog or website that your followers might be attracted to. All you got to do is enter that RSS feed URL, and Twitworkz gets a full list of links from that feed from a particular website. Now, for example, if you enter let's say you've got an RSS feed from CNN.com and you plug that into Twitworkz. What you'll be doing is actually broadcasting actual news to your followers on a regular basis. And all you need to do is go out there and find some relevant RSS feeds and copy the links of the feed, enter those feed links one by one into the Twitworkz content module so you can have multiple RSS feeds tweeting all kinds of interesting content. And when you do enter the RSS URL into the applet, just make sure RSS feed is selected as the content type. Select your frequency and click the save button and you're ready to go. All right, and there's one more kind of content that you can put out, and maybe the most important kind is your own custom tweets. Because in addition to those 3 types of automated continual content sources, you might want to also make sure your Twitter followers always have interesting content that's really original to you. So you can add your custom content, which could be anything. For example, you could tweet something about your website with a link back to the website to get traffic to your website. You could tweet an affiliate link to make some money. You could tweet a special video that you want people to see again and again. You could just say anything. The possibilities are really endless. You can put literally anything you want into the custom content, but just remember that the total length that Twitter can publish for you is 140 characters. Twitworkz will auto-truncate your content, but your best practice is to design your tweets with the 140 character limitation in mind. All right, then I want to give you some quick ideas of the best guidelines and best practices for using this application. The Twitworkz content module is very powerful, so you want to make sure you don't overdo it. If you put lots of content sources into the tweet module and set them all on floodgates, then chances are you're going to be tweeting probably way more than what looks natural. My suggestion to you is you start with occasional posts on every bit of content that you queue until you get a feel for the frequency timer and how much the content goes out. In any case, you definitely want to make it appear as natural as possible because people can tell when something is overly automated. If you use these tools with some restraint, then chances are you'll get a much better result from your following. Now, we've built in some algorithms for content repetition in the tweet module. Twitworkz has an algorithm currently that selects content randomly from your feeds and lists, but it doesn't repeat content posted from RSS feeds, playlists, or YouTube channels. And for that reason, there's a benefit to choosing channels, playlists, or RSS feeds that add new content on a regular basis. Since Twitworkz doesn't repeat content it's already posted, it will be looking for the new content in your feeds when it gets posted by the external source. However, your custom tweets, while also chosen randomly, will be repeated whenever randomly chosen. You may reach a point with a content source where every item on the list or feed has already been tweeted, and maybe they're not adding new items. If this occurs, click the reset button on the content source to remove the post history and allow it to start over from the beginning of the feed or list. It will continue to get random items from that list, and then it will start saving them again so that they won't be repeated again. Now, we do it this way just to make sure that you aren't tweeting the same links over and over. Your followers will appreciate you're keeping some variety in what you tweet. All right then, this concludes our Twitworkz core training module. I hope you enjoy using Twitworkz, and I'm sure you'll have the same success I've had when using the tool. Want more in-depth training about Twitworkz? Well, be sure to pick up my Use Twitworkz Mastery training series. Thanks again for making the wise decision to pick up Twitworkz, and I'll talk to you soon. This is Hugh out.